In this video, I'm going to walk through creating a new permit project. So from your homepage, go to Create Permit Project. And then the first field is the project name. So in here, we can put in some kind of work description or some kind of identifying description for the file. And we can be more specific, residential. The file type will be permitting. And then the address, we can then type in a property address, and I'll just grab an example one that we've entered in. So if I type in partial street number and partial street name and hit search, I will find anything that matches that search criteria. So in this case, I'm going to pick the top address. Alright, so it populated any information that was already saved on that parcel. And if there's anything else in here that I need to fill out or have, I can add in on this file screen here. And in my example, we are finished and we're moving down to the permit application. And in here, I'm going to pick the type of permit. So it's a residential building permit. And the subtype is where I identify the type of work being done. So deck residential. When I select my subtype, if there is an associated workflow route, I'll get a pop-up like this. This is the defaulted workflow route for approval for this deck residential permit. So the first activity is going to be the initial review, and it's being assigned to Tammy due tomorrow. Once Tammy looks at this application and confirms that it is complete, then Jason and Bill will both be assigned a plan review activity, which they have 14 days to complete. Once both have completed their plan review, they'll go back to Tammy for a final review, and from there she can then compile any notes or comments into a letter template or an email, or approve the permit and notify the applicant that a payment is necessary to be issued. So we'll just click Save here. And then moving down on the application screen, we have the status is under review. The applicant would be either the property owner, or maybe it's a contractor, or maybe it's the tenant. We can add them as a contact using this drop-down, selecting Add Contact, and then searching the system for that contact. So if I search Daniel B., first name, last name, I'll find any matches in the system. So we have Daniel Burt, Daniel Brown, Daniel B. In this case, I'm going to select Daniel Brown. Now, Daniel Brown is associated as the applicant with this new permit. The approval date, issue date, expiration date, those do not get filled in until after it's been approved or after it's been issued. The valuation is an internal field that you can enter in if you like. If, say, your valuation calculated was different than what they entered in as the estimated cost of construction. In this case, I'm moving down to construction costs, and I'm going to put in $3,500 for this new deck to be built. And the square footage, we'll say it's 500 square foot. And then I have my contact fields where I can add in more contacts and associate them as I see fit. So if there was a tenant, I can select the tenant or add a new contact. Same thing with architect. So this contractor field, if you start typing in the contractor's name, it will search to see if they have a contractor license and if it's valid or not. So I started typing in the first part of the name, and I get an option here to select. If it was inactive, it would tell me right away, inactive, and give me the list in a red font. So now that I've tied in that general contractor, if there's any other contractors I needed to add, I can do so. The last part of this application is any permit submittal requirements. So I'm going to hit Select File, and then I can go and grab any document that I need to attach. And I can attach multiple documents if I need to, or I can, if I grab the wrong one, if I have this trash can, I can delete it from here. So that's the building permit application. Go up to the top and click Save. and that's going to create my file and assign it a file number, which is a 2-digit year dash 6-digit sequential number. Also with a permit, each application will be assigned a permit number. So RB 17-000005 is the permit number associated to this application. And you can see here under the Permits tab, I can see a total balance due of $50. The status is currently under review. So you can have multiple permits under the same file. So if this applicant was applying for a deck and also some other job, maybe a fence, each one would be a separate application assigned its own permit number within this file number. Under the Reviews tab, we can see where it is in the process of being approved. So currently it's with Tammy, and she has until the 19th to get it completed. Now I'm logged in as Tammy, and I'm going to complete the initial review. We can see here on her task list, she's been assigned the initial review for that permit number at that address. Next to that activity name, we see a red icon. This is an alert. If I click on the alert, I can then see what the alert is on. So it's on a contact, on that buddy, the alert message, the date, and who added it. So I can then see alerts anywhere that there's an alert set. So to complete this initial review as Tammy, I would click on Initial Review, which takes me to my activity screen where I can track any comments or just say, yes, it's complete. From here, I can open up any documents using this first icon to the right. I can check their document, make sure it's all complete. I can open up the permit application from this icon, the ... more information, and view the application and check for accuracy, completion. All looks good. Back to my review screen, and here I would just put in my date and my status. So it's been completed. When I click Save here, it's going to then trigger notifications to the following plan reviewers, Jason and Bill. So now these activities are on their home pages. Now let's walk through Plan Review. From this screen, I'll click on Plan Review Activity, which will direct me to my review screen here, and I can download any documents that I need to look at. So here I have the deck supplement. I can open it up. It opens it up in PDF, and then I can review any plans submitted or any documents that were turned in with the application. I can also review the permit application itself by clicking the More Information. It opens up a second window where then I can look at the application, the contacts, check the contractor's information. So More Information again will open up another window where I can check the contractor's license and make sure that they have the appropriate dates filled out and the information turned in, and that it's current. Another link to that same document that I opened previously, we can open it from here as well. So back to my review screen. If there's anything else I need to go look at, I can navigate to any of these tabs and come back to my review. To complete this review activity, I'll need to add some comments, a completion date, and a status. To add comments, I will search through common corrections or common comments using this book icon. Or I can add in my own comment by clicking this paper icon here. Book icon, I can then select which comments I want. So in this first drop-down, I can select which book of comments that I want to pull from. This was a deck permit, so I'm going to select standard deck comments. And then I can select all these comments if I choose. And I can select them as this is just a comment, or this is something that's required before being issued. And then later I can resolve these comments. So I'm going to go through and add in a status on these. add additional comments to this book, I can add them right here. Otherwise, I can click Save, and then that copies all those comments into a bullet form here on my review activity. Then I just click Save, and now those are all stored. If I wanted to add any internal comments, I can use this top box here for comments regarding my review. I don't have any comments to add, so I'll just put in my completion date of today is the day that I did the review. And then I'm going to say approved with conditions and save. Once I save this, that is telling the computer that my activity is done and it needs to go to the next person in the review route. And in this case, it's Tammy doing the final review. Now that all the reviews have been completed on our permit example, the final review has been assigned to Tammy. So Tammy would then go from her home page to the final review, and here she can click Save and view other comments. So we can see that Jason has some comments, Bill has some comments, but they both approve with conditions, and so we can complete this final review and move forward with approving the permit. So we'll say approved or completed. And then from here I can generate either a letter or an email template that compiles all those comments from the different reviewers into one template. So I'll generate the letter, and I'm going to generate it for the contractor, and I'm looking for review comments, and I'm going to hit generate letter. And then it compiled the contractor's information, the permit number and address, and then each of the plan reviewers' comments and their name, division, and their status. And then hit print and then save. So that stores a review comments letter to the documents. The last step that would need to be completed is to update the review route to say it's been approved with conditions today. This allows us to report on how long it was under review. So after the review process has been completed, we wait until the applicant comes in and makes a payment or sends in a check. Once they do that, we will want to search for that permit or address. And I believe it was 1002 Boxwood. So when I search in my quick search for that address, I get multiple files, but I can see there's one permit number. So from here, I want to go to that permit screen, and I want to enter in the $50 payment. Enter a payment into Citizenserve. You'll click on the credit card icon up here, and we'll enter in the payment type, the reference, could be the check number. If we had a note, we can say permit fee or leave it blank, and then who paid us. And then, of course, the amount, so $50. Now we have a payment at the bottom of the screen. The fees and payments balance out to make a balance due of $0. We can now issue this permit. We would just need to update the status to issued, which plugs in the approval date, issue date, and then we can plug in when it expires. We can either use the arrows, or I can say and then the last step would be to generate the built-in permit card. So using the generate icon, I'll select my building permit card and then generate the document. If there's any other comments, I can add comments to the building permit card. Hit print. Print out our building permit. As you can see, it's pulling over the reviewers' comments from their activity, and then we'll hit print and save. Now there's a copy of the building permit card, save to the Documents tab. When an applicant calls in for an inspection, you'll want to search for the address or permit number that they are calling about. So in this case, they give us the permit number. And from here, we can schedule an inspection using the calendar icon, or we can use the blue toolbar, Add Inspection. I'm going to use the icon. Now I can select my inspection type. I believe in this case, we're just looking for a final inspection. I can assign the inspector using this drop-down, or I can use the More Information or View Calendar icon over here next to the date. This will pull up the calendar, and we can look at the inspectors for building and see who's available on this date at that time. And we can change the time. We can change the assigned to person. We'll say Rick, 12:30, and we'll hit OK. And then that updates our inspection screen here, and that's scheduling an inspection. Now let's walk through completing that final inspection that we scheduled for Rick. I'm logged in as Rick, and I can see on his homepage on the calendar it shows my appointments for today. If I click on the final inspection activity, it will redirect me to that screen where I can enter in my comments and complete the inspection. So from here, I'm going to add in a custom comment. These will act like my bullet points in my template that I am going to generate. Now I'll put in a completion date of today, and then say pass, and then go to generate my document. I can either send an email from here or a letter. So I'll click on the letter generation icon. Then I'll select, I'm going to send the inspection report to the contractor, and then generate the letter. That populates all the details from that inspection activity with my comments, and then I can hit print and save. That is completing the inspection process. Now, if there is no further action needed on this file, we can close the permit project by going to Edit File, and then changing the status of the file to Closed, and then click Save. This will close all items on the file by clicking Yes here, and the project is completed. And that is the end of our permitting training video. Thank you for watching.